Hi, my name is Festus or DJ Erewili, and you know I love to do this. I just enjoy it, particularly in the last few days and the comments that have been coming, beautiful comments. I want to thank every one of you that have said, well done, keep up the good job. And for those who were not doing performance appraisals in their company that have started, kudos to you. I know you're itching to hear what we'll be saying next, how to conduct an effective performance appraisal session. Some people call it business strategy session. Well, before I go into the story of the day, can you do me a favor to subscribe and to share as many people that you want to have this channel, especially if they do business, or they know those who do business, or they know those who want to do business. The reason for the CEO Masterclass is to create a generation of people who will do business the right way and be able to sustain it for generations to come. All right, to the business of the day: how to conduct an effective performance review session, or the business strategy. And I'm saying this based on the experience that I have gotten in the last 22 years. I was in the banking industry. Now, performance review is done basically for 5 reasons. Performance review listing is done basically for 5 reasons. The number 1 reason why we do performance review is to be able to know how the business is doing. How is our business doing? The second reason is to find out what each individual in the business is doing. How are you contributing to the business? And the third reason is to do a complete review of both what competition is doing, so that we know how to position ourselves as a business, and to do an environmental scan, have an outlook of the economy, and see how it affects our kind of business. The other reason why performance review sections or business strategy sections are held is for the purpose of learning new things. It's for people to come together and learn. There is a need to also unlearn. There are things you shouldn't retain that are bad, that are odious, that are anti-progressive in what you've always done. So when you come for performance review sections, or MPR they call it in the bank, you begin to unlearn some certain things that are not productive, and then you can relearn. Then the fourth reason why performance review sections are being held is to encourage team bonding, building relationship. Because before the pandemic, most companies used to come together, meet, discuss in a physical form. But right now, many meetings are holding virtually. But for small businesses and medium businesses that still hold MPR, there is a need for us to always meet and discuss. Thank God the issue of COVID-19 is gradually on the decline. The MPR, I like to say this before I tell you how to conduct an MPR session, is not a platform for show off. It's not a platform to demonstrate who is the most powerful person in the business. My experiences in the 22 years of banking were of mixed feelings. And that's why I've been doing this paper, which I'm sure many CEOs will get to hear about. It's not a platform where you begin to insult people, reduce and lower their self-esteem. It's not that kind of platform. It's not a platform to burn bridges and break down relationships. No. I know of many bankers who have died. Some are perpetually sick. Some don't like to hear the word MPR, because when they come, their self-esteem is taken away from them. They feel highly insulted. They feel denigrated. They feel abused. And then they come out even worse. I've had several experiences of people who left their industry, who left their employment during MPR session. That is not the basis for conducting MPR. That is not the reason why MPR are conducted. And I just told you the 5 reasons, and I'm sure you haven't forgotten them. But the story proper for today is, how do we conduct an effective and a productive MPR? Listen to this. Number 1, it starts from the seating arrangement. When people come for MPR, make sure that people from the same unit or the same department or the same branch do not sit together. Don't forget that we had said that one of the reasons for MPR is to build team building, is to encourage relationship, is to make sure that we begin to know each other. So new faces should sit. Someone from HR should be able to sit with someone in production. Someone in production should be able to sit with someone in accounting. Make sure that people who are not in the same unit or in the same department or branch are sitting together. By then, you'll start encouraging the bonding. The number 2 thing is, after they have been fully seated and you're sure that pleasantries have been exchanged by everyone, the next thing is, begin the section with a good story. Begin that section with a good story. What do I mean a good story? Begin to outline the successes and the achievement of your company in the last 1 month, in the last 3 months, or in the last 6 months or 1 year, depending on when you are holding that MPR. Reason is because people need to know that you appreciate their presence or you appreciate what they are doing even before the proper evaluation starts. The next thing, after all the stories have been told about how good, you can in fact chip in at the end to say, look, we've not done well in this area or in the other areas. Fine. The next thing to do is to do an economic environmental review. When I was in the bank, I had one man who I looked forward to in every MPR, in Diamond Bank then. Special credit and kudos to my friend Chris Ofikulu. When Chris comes on to talk about the economy, he exposes, he breaks it down, he makes us feel good. We understand exactly what's going on in Nigeria. We know what's going on in the other industries and then in banking and how they relate. Before then, we begin to position ourselves and we begin to say, wow, this is interesting, this is good. And once that is done, the next thing you should do is let there be a tea break. And this is deliberate. After these 3 things have been done in sequence, let there be a tea break. The tea break will enable people to discuss the issues that have just been discussed, the good stories or the achievement and what the economy is saying. By the time they are done with the tea break, the next thing to do is the review proper. In the review proper, guess what? Begin with the top flyers. As an MD or a business owner, you have probably seen the report even before the day started. So let's begin to talk about those people who did well. Let them come and do their business review. Let them tell us exactly how they progressed. What was the trick? How did they achieve this feat? And then from there, from the top flyers, you go to the average performer and then to the poor performers, or we call them laggards. That's the language used in banking. They'll say they are laggards. And when the laggards have presented, you will begin to see that the energy would have even reduced. You have been happy, and then it's advisory. You begin to see that even the people who come out as laggards, being the last people who present, they may have learned a lot of things. They would even have felt really bad because if you remember what we talked about, aspirational structures, they will want a situation where they do not come under this section next time. After the presentation and the review have been done, the next thing that you will do is a breakout section. A breakout session is the strategy session. A breakout session is where issues that concerns the company will be broken down in different topics for different people to handle. And this is talking about large organizations where you begin to say, let's look at the best performing products that we have or the service that the people are attracted to. How do we remain dominant? How do we remain the market leader? What are we not doing well? What are the other companies doing? What should we do? People must be able to come up with strategies, come up with strong strategies that can now be reviewed. After the breakout session, let them present their strategy. It is from there that resolutions are made, plans have been made fully, and then the company is fully ready to go into the next phase of business. This is how MPRs should be conducted. And if you want to have us in any of your meetings, or you want us to help you conduct or be a part of your MPR, oh, why not? We'll be willing to do so. We'll be willing to put you through in 1 or 2 sections, and we have done that severally and effectively. And I'm sure that once you begin to do this, you'll begin to create a better workforce and you begin to become more productive. I'm sure you enjoyed this bit. My name remains Festus or DJ Rebel. Do me a favor and subscribe right now. Thank you. Do have a lovely day ahead.